Inflation hit a 40-year high here in the U.S., and it's hurting families' savings accounts. A new survey finds 67% of Americans are dipping into their savings to cover rising costs. Economists predict the Federal Reserve could increase rates by 3/4 of a point tomorrow, and that would be the steepest rate hike since 1994. Inflation is also hurting retired teachers here in Texas. And joining us to talk more about this is Texas A&M economics professor Dennis Jansen. Thank you so much, sir, for taking the time to join us.
Thank you, Quita.
Well, the teacher retirement system in Texas has been in place since the 1930s. Can you explain a little more about exactly what it is?
Sure. So the teacher retirement system in Texas takes payments from both teachers and their employers and invests in it's a pension plan for teachers.
Well, I know rising taxes, medical costs, even buying groceries, all of that hitting a lot of retired teachers on a fixed pension pretty hard. But does the teacher retirement system in Texas adjust for inflation, if at all?
No. So one feature of the teacher retirement system in Texas is that it definitely does not adjust for inflation. So we would call this a defined benefit pension plan, and teachers make contributions along with their employers during their work life. And upon retirement, they receive a pension, an annuity, a monthly payment of a fixed dollar amount for the rest of their lives. That fixed dollar amount payment is definitely not adjusted for inflation, and every time there's inflation of any size, it reduces the purchasing power of that pension. So a retired Texas teacher basically sees their purchasing power declining over their remaining lifetime, at least their purchasing power from their pension.
So this is actually affecting teachers who've not only been retired for many years, also teachers who recently retired.
Absolutely. It affects all. I mean, a surprise increase in the inflation rate, the 11% we've experienced over the last 15 or 16 months, it affects all teachers. And it's a cut in their purchasing power this year and for all future years, because you don't expect those prices to start going declining and the inflation rate to be negative. In fact, the Fed's target is 2%. So this huge inflation rate has affected all teachers, and all of them have seen this reduction in their purchasing power of their monthly pension. Moreover, this inflation doesn't appear to be ending soon, so they just have worse things to come.
Well, sir, what advice would you give a teacher who is approaching retirement?
For a teacher, you almost would, ideally you'd wait until teachers' wages are increased over time by the ISDs and our, the state legislature. And when their pay increases to keep up with inflation, and when the inflation rate returns to a much lower level, then it might be time to retire. Unfortunately, that's easy for me to say, and this could be years.
A lot of interesting information. Texas A&M economics professor Dennis Jansen, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.